This, I want to watch this, guys.
About NACS, primarily the fact that it sucks.
Stop, map number 1, 16 to 11. Oh no, Summit!
I wanted to make a video talking
Why you do Summit like that, bro?
about what happened and the factors that I think led to NACS kind of falling off. To be fair, we were never really that great, but we were better than, you know, what it is now.
Stewie!
Before I can talk about what happened and what it is now, I want to talk about Boxer and this shirt that they just made for me. Well, actually, I don't think they made it for me, but my face is on it. Shout out to Launders and his team over at Boxer for the shirt. I love, you know, the fact that Stu's face.
Enzo, I agree, Enzo.
I'm gonna be wearing this all day. Not sponsored. I just really like what they're doing.
Hey, what keyboard are you using, bro? This is just a keyboard I bought on the internet, and I really like it. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just really liked it. The sound of the.
So yeah.
Wait, let me put this so you can hear. I mean, I don't know. Wait, notepad, huh? 1 second, guys. Can I find notepad here? Notepad. Let me write for you so you can hear. So basically, it's really sexy. And it's super heavy, and let me show you how it looks. The name of the keyboard, again, I'm not sponsored. I don't have any code, anything for you to buy, nothing. I just liked it when I saw it, and it has this small little like G and a spider. Look, it has these on the sides as well. They have a light on it, bro. I didn't even notice. You can hear how it sounds, and it has this. There's like a light here and a spider. I don't know what this is for, but it looks cool. They have this scroll here as well, but it's hard for you to see on the camera. And you can probably change the lights and everything, but I don't fuck with that. I don't care about that. They have the function key as well here, and then you can do different stuff on the top. For example, function, and then you can dim down the, you see, now it's fully down, and you can do fully up. You can probably change as well the color. Wait, this is something else, I don't know. You can probably change the color as well. I just don't know where or how. I didn't really look into it, but it seems like a really cool keyboard. So I just went and bought it to have it in stock if I ever want to. I don't know how it is for gaming. I don't use it for gaming, so I don't know about the gaming part of it, you know. Why are you standing? I'm in the garage, bro. I play. I think on camera it's different than in real life.
What?
And by the way, I don't play on it. It's just I just use it in the garage because it looks cool.
Today's video is sponsored by Rain GG. Rain is one of the fastest growing CS2 case opening sites. Besides fun case openings, they offer game modes like case battles, upgrader, and doubles. Rain gives players free daily, weekly, and monthly cases. If you sign up with my code LOBA, you get 3 free cases and 5 deposit bonus. The site supports instant deposit and withdrawals using skins or crypto. If you want to try Rain, click the first link in the pinned comment and use code LOBA to claim your rewards. Please remember, loot boxes sites can be addictive, so make sure you're over 18 and only spend money you can afford to lose. Good luck.
Just in the garage to chill and watch some videos and stream.
You know, I would say 2015, 2016, all the way till pretty much the start of COVID, right?
A manager! How am I supposed to win? He's a fucking manager!
It was a fun time, honestly. The scene was on the come up the whole time.
What's up, bitch?
There was a lot of viewership. I think part of that was just the streamers that we had.
Swag, what's your name?
As a player, I was looking forward to playing F1.
Bro, actually, when I watch his video, it just shows how cooked the scene is now. If you want to watch a CS streamer, the only person you can watch is Restream Pixel talking about skins or restreaming an event. You have nobody to watch who plays like high level CS in a closed hub or a closed place with other pros. Even the pros who play, they don't play on stream when they play, and they don't play that often. And the worst thing of them all, the top pros, they are Russian or Ukrainian, because why I say the worst thing is because they talk that language. So for somebody from NA, he can't watch them because he won't understand anything. For somebody from Germany, Sweden, France, Balkan, he can watch them but not understand a single joke or anything funny. But if somebody's from Germany, Sweden, you know, Balkan, they usually talk English. So the scene went like, I want to say 60% towards CIS, and then these other regions just don't play that much anymore. So when you look at these old videos, you had this. When I played FPL, you had so many Swedish players, German players, you had French players, you know. Like, when was the last time you saw French talent come up, German talent come up, you know? I don't know, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish. Back then when I played with Polly from the Norway people, from Norway. The dudes.
Which means that you're Pakistani, yep?
Yup, Pakistani, yup,
You
yup,
lover,
Pakistan.
how are you, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you, bro? I have the sound here in the garage, so when you sub, I have to hear it. At home, I don't have to hear it because I have a double PC, so I don't have to hear this. I don't have to reply to sub. Stop subbing to my stream, you piece of shit. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Anyway, I miss that. I miss this. When I see this, it's insta like good vibes.
FPL every single night, and there were a lot of people streaming it, so I could only assume that as a viewer and a fan, you guys
Yeah,
probably had
Swedish-
something to look forward to as well. The next thing that we
The
had,
Swedish scene is dead. Yeah. Double thank you for the sub, bro. Thank you, my bro.
we had a lot of org support. Orgs are important for one reason and one reason only, and that is paychecks. There aren't
Orgs, they had so many orgs back then, but you know what's crazy? Everybody be saying today that orgs didn't leave CS2. Like, orgs are still in CS2, bro. The new VRS system from Valve, so many orgs are left, especially in lower tiers. So if you don't have orgs in lower tiers, they won't help the talents grow to become better, because you have to pay people. Once a person gets good enough, he wants some money to quit his job or whatever, so he can dedicate more to become close as Monesi or whatever. So if you have less orgs who will like help the talents, Facey doesn't help any talents, you know. They gave up on FPLC and FPL. Who gonna help the talents to blow up to reach the heights of EU? So now you have so many less orgs in the game, but somehow we have like almost 2 million players, and yeah, it's definitely not a million, 1.5 million of bots and 300k playing. Nah, it's 1.8 million people playing. But somehow all the orgs leaving, sponsors leaving, viewership at majors smaller than 3 years ago, but we're getting 2 million players. Yeah, it's not the bots, it's not the skin farms, it's not that. It's not, no. It's not the cheaters, no. It's legit players. We just can't see them. They're like, it's legit players, they're just not on the server with us. When we join the server, it's just AI bots. But don't worry about that, you know. When Mr. Richard Lewis tells you, you should trust him. He knows because he never turned on the game.
aren't a lot in NA or at the moment, which, you know, are the reason why I'm making this video. Obviously, org support is really important for making sure that the players can kind of go all in and fully focus
NA streams with such a good content, that's what kept NA scene alive. Yep.
on CS. It also just contributes to a thriving scene. Yeah, it's just something that is not really a thing right now. And most of the orgs in North America right now, there are a few, but a lot of them have, you know, 2 to 3 European imports. So not really supporting all NA players. Obviously, they're supporting some, but very different from back then. And then another thing is just the lack of tournaments in North America. And I'm not talking about big, you know, IEM Chicago, ESL 1 New York. You know, obviously those tournaments were great to have, but I'm just talking about like a lot of online tournaments even, or like small DreamHack tournaments that would happen in North America. And I feel like before those tournaments are kind of what helped, you know, especially the tier 2 North American scene, it's what helped that scene kind of develop, because the tier 1 teams,
Do you,
know, they were,
guys, do you remember, or am I crazy? I kind of remember the time when you had like ESL Pro League NA, right? And then you had ESL Pro League EU. And then they were, was it called like that? And then they would like, you had the winner over here, over there, and then they would meet and then play online. Wait, what was that? Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like having some wrong. ESL Pro League America 2016. Let me see. Like, was there a season NA, and then you have after that like, and I remember LANs. Was it like that, or was it? Was it like that or no? I can't remember it was like that. That you, or maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. But I can't remember that you had the NA, the NA Pro League? Let's see, 15 maybe. And then I saw Stewie and them going there, right? And Mo went there. Wait, Mo Pro League LAN. I don't know when that happened. But that was like so long time ago, and there were like tables and everybody was moving around. I can't remember when that was. Am I tripping or did this happen? No, that was something that okay, so wouldn't they yeah, they would mix later, but it was like an NA Pro League, and then later you had the EU, and then they would mix.
We're always playing in Europe anyways, but right now it's not really a thing. What is NACS now? Well, if you take the list of what I just said and you reversed it, that's pretty much NACS now.
Up and coming scene, you don't have that in EU as well. Fun games of FPL, you don't have that. Lots of streamers, you don't have that even in EU. Lots of paychecks, you don't have. Okay, you have lots of paychecks and sponsors in EU. Good teams, you have that in EU.
So not a lot of viewership. There are some content creators that are, they're doing a great job, but not a lot. Not a lot of
Yo,
tournaments.
why did he not mention Freak, bro? What the hell, bro? Automatic racist to Freak.
Probably because there was a lot of match fixing going on.
The matters escalate.
No, please, stop saying this automatic, because if Richard Lewis hears what you're saying, you will have beef. He will find something about you, he will say that probably when you were in school, you were bullied. That's why you think now everybody's match fixing, okay? So be careful what you're saying, bro. That guy will make up a story about you and his clowns will believe it. Yo, don't say this type of stuff, bro, but without checking with the greatest journalist to ever live in the world. Richard motherfucking Lewis, bro. 60-year-old, no hair, no family, no wife, no kid, no gym, no fitness, no diet, no just a lonely dude in his basement, just like me, see? I'm recreating Richard Lewis' life. I just need to shave my head.
In that case, we are looking at 35 players, 6 or 7 teams.
That's a lot. NACS is not completely dead yet, but it will be, apparently.
And not a lot of org support. So with all those things considered, the scene is just not where it used to be. And on top of that, when a North American team does make it to a tournament in Europe, we've rarely seen them do well. Now, I'm talking about full North American teams, not teams that have 2 or more imports.
Why you bully me?
Just strictly North American teams. When they go to Europe, I just have to be honest, like, they lose pretty convincingly.
13-4, say goodbye to Nouns as they are sent home.
And bro, and they didn't even lose to a top team.
Swings on through the single tap. NRG, they're going home, and MIBR, as you can see, still alive. Off the bomb again, no chance. Nico back with the final kill, and my God, did he deserve it? They survive the EG scare, and G2 get to send them packing.
Compared to back then, we actually had teams that would win international tournaments. I'm thinking Optic, E-League.
A 2-on-4, spray comes through, Rush gets a kill, and ladies and gentlemen, Optic Gaming, your winners of E-League Season 2.
Obviously, us on Cloud9, we won EPL and a few other tournaments, obviously the Boston Major.
And thank you for all the fans who showed up.
Congratulations, Skadoodle. Once again, your E-League Major champion is Cloud9!
Liquid with their Grand Slam in 2019. I mean, we had teams that were actually competing for titles, or at least to get deep runs in tournaments. Now we're going to talk about why did NACS die. I'm going to talk about pretty much what I think is the biggest reason, and that is Shroud retiring.
Fuck!
Now, the second biggest reason is...
Bro, but you go to Reddit and everybody hates Shroud. Bro, Shroud did the smart thing, bro. Stay away from CS and make money as a streamer. Like, all us streamers were making more... I mean, all. Us bigger streamers were making more money than the pros are. Like, I'm happy I never tried or wasted time going pro. I mean, I tried with Imperial, but all that what Mr. Richie did and his rat Torin. me up, but I'm happy they did it. They did me a favor. I'm making like 3 times more than the tier 1 pro, and that's per month. So I'm pretty happy with that, but still, Shao did a good thing. I think Shao did like a very good thing, even though back then I don't know how much money, and he doesn't take Gamba sponsors like me, so I don't know how much he makes, but definitely he makes more than the pros do.
This fucking game is shit!
Tarek retiring. And I know what you're thinking. Tim, you were so much better than both of them. Like, the scene should have been able to live on even after they retired.
Yeah, but they brought so much personality. It's like simple now leaving CS. You lose so many people who don't want to see Zaivu like a robot, or Monesi who doesn't. Monesi isn't really a robot, but he doesn't have the like dynamic personality like Simple. You know, he's trying to be way too nice. Simple was toxic when he plays and he shows emotions, but then when you meet him in real life, he's super nice. And what happens now with the pros, they don't have personality and they're acting nice. So a lot of the pros that I met in real life, they're not as nice as they're acting on stream. And then other dudes, like when you meet Krims, JW, Flusha, Olof, Simple, Pasha, they're super nice in real life compared to what you see on stream. Like super nice. Simple especially. Like he's the complete opposite of what you see in games when he's tilt. And now just they don't have personality, these players now. Like bro, you see Zaivu, he's like not me. And you're like, okay bro, like, you know, and Simple like comes out, he's like swinging, talking, throwing in a joke, fully relaxed, has like a really fun personality you want to watch, good energy.
I agree with you. I'm not talking about in-game wise. I'm talking about their streams were huge. I mean, Shroud was pulling in, I think, about 10,000 viewers every night. Tarek was, you know, 5 to 10,000, and I think this did a lot for the CS
Yeah,
community.
with Vigilance,
one,
Vigilance, you're right.
A lot of eyes to the nightly FPL games. It brought a lot of fans. I think that overall it just brought a lot of support for teams like C9 for Shroud and Optic for Tarek. We're just
like the thing with what he's saying about Tarek, that's how I feel when I was playing FPL. Like I wasn't the best player there or anything like that, but you would love watching, watching FPL games where I'm playing, because I would tilt Zantares and they would have epic moments like, what are you doing, Loba? Or I would tilt Simple, and then we had like the moments of when we're avoiding Simple in game because he's toxic. Then you would have the one-on-ones at like 3 in the morning with Simple Voxic or Simple Zantares, me versus Tapse, me versus Yekin. That you would have so much happening and popping, because I would always have the stream on, and then you would grab some of those situations. A lot of the other dudes, they would just turn on when they're playing the game, and as soon as the game is over, they would turn off. And I was more interested in streaming stuff between the games, so we're talking or chilling or laughing or talking, joining rooms, or when I'm playing Train versus Simple and I have the whisper button, and then I whisper to him like, bro, I or something, I don't remember what I whispered, and then he's like, this piece of and you see his reaction by whisper, and then everybody's like, whisper him more, then he bans me from TeamSpeak. Then there was that song with Simple that I was playing for him. I had that song saved, and then I was playing the song for him where he says, I'm not racist, you know, and then he would ban me from TeamSpeak, not let me play the song. Dude, that was so much good vibes and fun and jokes that was together with the game. Now you don't have that. Now you have like a bunch of dudes who are antisocial, don't know how to have fun unless they're winning, and then if they're winning, it's like, cool, and then the game's, okay, let's queue again, we need to hit 5 kilos, 6 kilos, 7 kilo, and we hit 7 kilo, nice, bye. And that's the whole point. They don't have fun playing it or enjoying it, and then you don't see any interaction that can make you laugh, or some situations that are unique. The last 3 years, I remember, I can't find a clip that you can pull out and be like, oh my god, epic clip from CS2, look how fun they had, look, this is funny. You can't. Just highlights from games, and that's it.
Missing that.
They even have to fake trash talk. Like, what did Blast do or ESL? I remember they faked that Flames showed his middle finger to another guy, and then the other guy showed him a middle finger, but it didn't even happen. They faked it, and then the fans were mad that it happened, but it didn't happen. So they're trying to make fake stuff so they can like get a clip. Before you didn't have to make fake stuff. It was like all the time funny stuff popping because you had good people and good personalities doing stuff. Now there's none of that.
Right now.
We lose the Glocks!
And even the smaller streamers, you know, Dazed, Shaz, No One, Lasky, you know, even those streamers, I feel like we're missing that. Back then as a viewer, I felt like you could probably find someone that you liked and watch FPL every night, and I felt like that brought a sense of community that is no longer really a thing.
Yo, hello, you hear me, yeah? You hear me, you guys fucking suck.
Right now, it just feels sort of like a free-for-all.
How could this happen to me?
Okay, so the next thing that happened that really hurt CS in my opinion was COVID. Now, obviously COVID wasn't in our control and it just sucked for everyone, but it really did hurt the CS scene, especially the competitive scene, because that's where all the tournaments were online. There wasn't really that much hype because it was the same match week after week, right? I think overall the scene it wasn't dead, but I felt like that was kind of the start of things trending downwards. The second thing that really hurt NACS was, you guessed it, Valorant.
Wait, guys. First thing was Shrouds. Second thing was COVID. We're at the third thing. My bro forgot numbers. He's going like 1, 2, 2. Somebody needs to talk to him about mathematics, bro. 1, 2, 3. Not 1, 2, 2, bro. What the hell? What's up, man, bro? Did he finish school?
Coming out. Now, the reason why Valorant hurt us so much was because it really shut off the talent pipeline, if you will. If you break up the NA scene back then in terms of tiers, obviously this is a completely objective tier system. So who you see is objectively in that tier. So you had tier 1 pros, you had tier 2 pros, and you had tier 3 pros. Now, what happened when Valorant came out, some tier 1 pros went to Valorant. I feel like almost all tier 2 pros went to Valorant. And then the tier 3 pros, they didn't go to Valorant.
Wait, did Cooper go to Valorant? Nah, for real? He did?
Yeah, which means that you're Pakistani,
Yo,
yeah?
you're Pakistani, yeah? You're Pakistani, yeah?
Can't watch the stream.
Yo,
I'm blocked.
Ahmed, thank you for the sub, bro. Can you PM me? Yeah, I will do it after stream, bro.
Because they were going to get outshined by the tier 2 pros anyways, so most of them stayed in NACS. And what that did was the tier 3 pros now became tier 2. So we didn't see the effects of Valorant until later on, because at the time all the teams were still intact, right? Team Liquid was still a team.
As we know, Liquid is a dead team, as I heard, at least.
EG was still a team.
You got to win today, mate. Shouldn't you be happy?
Yeah, I'm happy, but no, it's EG.
Yeah? Yeah? Oh,
I'm happy for it's EG, bro.
Okay. Gen G, we were still a team. But as things started happening, such as tier 1 pros retiring, going to Valorant, going to Europe, now that's when it started to become a problem. And the main reason for that is just there weren't enough players the tier 1 pros could pick up who were ready for their shot at tier 1. That's no fault of the tier 3 players. That's just how it was. When you're a tier 3 pro, you're just not ready as a player to play in Europe. It's a different game in Europe, if I'm being honest. We're still playing Counter-Strike. Of course, you can still headshot someone, but there's a lot of strategy and a lot of experience that comes into play in tier 1 CS on the pro circuit. Now, the tier 1 pros that did stay in North America, I think the IGLs and the players that were able to teach the younger players were definitely the most valuable. I mean, you can see what Wildcard is able to do with Stan. Took that team and made it a really good team, honestly. Like, they're doing really well in Europe. But even with him, they had to import 2 Europeans. If it was a team of Stan and 4 NA rookies, it might have been a different story. EG Black, when Stan was on that team, I don't think they...
Yeah, because Fizzy and the other guy, they're like good EU players. They're not like bottom players in EU. They're like good EU players. I played a lot of pugs with them. and they're insanely skilled.
Did that well. In North America, of course they did well, but I'm talking about when you go to Europe. And now we see Nitro, kind of the same thing. I mean, he has a veteran in OC now, but they also brought in a European. I think Nitro is definitely a valuable piece to that team. And, you know, I'm interested to see how that team turns out. But where does this leave the rest of the teams? Well, the rest of the tier 3 teams, I guess now tier 2, and even in North America, some of these teams are considered tier 1. That leaves them with no vets. It's basically a team full of rookies. And again, I'm not trying to like talk smack about how good they are. They could be really good, but I think that the scene is not set up for them to be able to transition or break through to tier 1, mainly because there are no veterans. The importance of veterans, you know, back in the day, people used to think, oh, I don't understand why, you know, why this team keeps recycling old players. And while sometimes I agree with that, most of the time it's because to take a risk on a new player, it takes a lot of time. You have to invest. Think about all the young players that were given a shot and didn't make it. I mean, even in Europe, most of the time you give a player a shot, they don't really take advantage of it the first time around. And you have to invest a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of resources in order to give that player, you know, a good chance. And that's just something that orgs normally aren't willing to do. I would say that it takes an average of 6 months for, we'll just call them tier 2 NA pro, to really understand how to play in Europe. But by that point, that's mainly when orgs, they decide that it's time to move on. Okay, so one thing that I always learned was don't just bring up problems. You gotta bring up a solution as well. So, you know, with everything I said in mind, what is the solution? How do we get North America back on track? I think the obvious one is to pick me up. Just kidding. I'm retired. Seriously though, I think that, you know, having veterans on the team, or at least people who are somewhat experienced, really does help the younger generation. It might not be enough to win, because in my opinion, you need 3, if not 4 experienced players to really, you know, help a young player grow. But, you know, it might set up some players for success. The second solution that I kind of thought of is what I'm currently doing right now, and that's making content. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, there are a few content creators now, you know, Cooper, Flom, Stu, you know, those are some guys that are really carrying NA on their back right now. But I'm here.
But bro, the problem is with creating content, you have nothing to create. What does Flom do? Play pugs and restream events. What does Cooper do? Play pugs, get tilted how the servers are and how Premiere is, and restream an event. What does Stu do? Just play pugs. Like, you don't have 10 funny players, but you don't need 10, you need like 30.
Yeah, which means that you're Pakistani, yeah?
You're Pakistani,
Yeah, Pakistani, yeah. Thank you for the runner, thank you for the 3 gifted, bro. Thank you for the gifted, man. No, Cooper is amazing. They're, bro, I'm not talking.
Which means that you're Pakistani, yeah?
Yeah, Pakistani, yeah. I'm not talking about the streamers. I'm just saying they don't have content to play. There's like 3, 4, 5.
Which means that you're Pakistani, yeah?
You're Pakistani.
Te Pakistani, te Pakistani. The problem is they don't have fun places and fun people and fun content to make. They're just like, let's queue Premiere or let's queue Face It and then we play, you know, and you don't see any fun videos that they can create, you know. The video is, I spectated the top 1 cheater of Premiere, CS2. The next content is, I found 5 more cheaters in my game. I had 8 cheaters in this game. That's the content in CS now. You have nothing to record. FPL is dead. Nobody's playing it. And the people who play it, they're not fun. They're boring. They're kids who are just there to grab money and leave. You don't have any other leagues. You can play pro games, restream pro games, or pugs. You know, before you had a ton of stuff to do, if not at least rank S and FPL. So with those 3 streamers, 4 or 5, they're limited with content. They don't even have danger zone. They don't have anything, bro. Hide and seek, bunny hop, surf, nothing. It's just like queue, wait 10 to 15 minutes for a game, get a game, either run them over, and rarely is it a fun game. Get cheaters, get tilted, waste another hour, and then repeat. And it's the same 5 maps, you know. So there isn't much stuff to do, bro. That's the problem. There's not much stuff to do.
here to join them, and I want to make content for North America so that we can hopefully bring some more eyes to North America and maybe bring a sense of community. You know, I think that's one thing that North America is kind of lacking
missing in
right
EU
now.
as well.
So I guess final thoughts for this video on how to make NA not suck again is just please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please sub to my Twitch, and yeah, have a good day.